of the week
Bro,
is Frieren,
this
Beyond
mug,
Journey's End.
this mug is a sleeper, okay? Because me and Didi, she didn't watch it with me, but we took one look at it, and especially the title card on Crunchyroll, it looked boring AF, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It looked boring. And even coming from me, I love fantasy. Like, I love Lord of the Rings and, all that kind of, dragony stuff. It's like, oh, yeah, this is cool. But for some reason in anime, it always falls flat to me. And so that's why I told you I kind of had low expectations going in.
Yep.
Because I'm like, okay, this is probably going to be, I heard it was a slice of life. Like, I remember you telling me a little bit about it. And I was like, slice of life is not for me. And especially if it's fantasy, this is going to be boring. Yeah.
Overturn those expectations, huh?
Yeah, I like it literally, I try to give shows at least 2 episodes. If you ain't got me about like the 3rd episode, then I'm sorry, you lost me. And it's probably going to be me watching this intermittently over the years. But for some reason, it just kept hooking me in. I don't know. I noticed it's very cinematic, like not even just the artwork and the line work and the colors, but sometimes the camera angles, sometimes how like there was one shot of the dude with the axe flying around on this dragon because he's fighting it, and I'm like, yo, that's insane animation right there. Like, his hair is like flying back and forth. Like, the way they did it was just it was POV, and it was very, very well done and very cinematic. And the music as well, like, for me,
So good.
yes, very, very cinematic, and very fitting with the show. A lot of times you have these beautiful shows, but when it comes to the music, they're like, all right, this is where we're kind of cheap on the budget.
Yeah. I put that ending credit song on my playlist.
Yeah, it was
I love it so much.
right. And also the ending, I think it was the last half of the show, the ending like animation was different. It was a different kind of art style. I was like, this is kind of cool. This is legit. The only thing
I didn't even notice that.
No. The only problem I had with the opening song for me just doesn't kind of fit the theme of the show. And I was like, oh, this is typical anime music.
Get that every time.
So did I.
I gave it every first episode I would watch the opening theme. And after that, I'm skipping.
Yeah.
There are very, very few animes where I'll actually, almost every episode, I'll listen to the opening.
Like, for real. Like, for me, it's almost zero. Like, the only one I can think of, like, I even skipped Samurai Champloo's opening, okay? Because after a while, it just kind of gets, But Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, I'm like, I have a hard time skipping that opening every time. I just do. It's so dope.
I skipped it, so I don't even know what it is. Because after the first season...
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So have you... Well, I don't want to get sidetracked on JJK. That might have to be a different conversation.
Yeah. So for those who have not seen Frieren, it's very good. So what it's about is it follows an elf that has a very long life. Like, the elves in this fantasy, they basically live forever.
It kind of sounds like it, yeah.
She's a mage, and she had the story starts where at the end of her journey with a hero party that saved the world from the
Demon King.
Demon King. And so then it basically follows her journey after that journey's over, about her, how the impact of that journey, because it was a 10-year journey. She was with those the hero party, and they're all human. Well, one's a dwarf, has a very long life as well, but the humans, for an elf, 10 years is like a blip in her life. So it's like not that big a deal. And so she didn't really spend that much time to try to get to know them and stuff. And it wasn't until the funeral of one of the hero parties where she realized, it's like, oh shoot, I knew that life was short for humans, but why didn't I get to know him better? And so she started to cry, and then that's like her catalyst of cherishing the relationships that she had, and also the ones that she's getting she's discovering as she's going through her life again.
Yeah.
Beyond that journey.
And also through the lens of her, like you said, James, through the lens of her being over 1,000 years old. And, you know, I was just thinking of this the other day. It's like, what would it be like? What would my relationships be like if I were to live that long? And to be honest, I probably wouldn't hold relationships probably at all, you know.
Right. Because that pain of loss is gets to a point where you just can't take it.
That, and also, you know, probably at a certain point, I'm just like, because, you know, say one of my friends lives 70, 80 years, you know, and to me, that's just like, you know, a year or two or however long it is to her. Yeah. It just doesn't seem that long. So you're just like, okay, I know. And that's probably why she never really took the time to get to know the people she was with, because she's like, this is like nothing to me. You're just here today and gone tomorrow. So why, you know, spend the effort and the time to get to know you when you're just going to be gone so soon, you know?
Yeah.
And even to the point that she makes a note. She's like, you know, I don't even know how many other elves there are in the world because we don't see each other for like hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And even when they do cross paths, like it cracked me up. She crossed paths with another elf and it was like, oh, hey, you're an elf. That. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen another elf in 300 years. All right, have a good day. And they just walked off. And it was just like, what? That is so bizarre. But so, yeah, I just thought it was really interesting that they kind of played with Frieren's age and how she sees her relationships. And I don't know. I just thought they did it really well. Told that story really well.
It was such a good story. And also, for those who don't like slice of life, it has enough action.
Trust me.
And those action sequences are dope.
Yes, they are. Ooh, there's the dungeon scene about her. Man, look, dude, that was fire. That was crazy. That was almost on the level of a particular Jujutsu Kaisen fight that I'm thinking of in season 2. But anyway, like James said, it takes you there. And even episode by episode, the ones without the action, there's enough drama and interest, and there's enough, you know, like emotional. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they kind of got me with some of the emotional stuff. I was like, ooh, that was deep. That was, you know, that was very nice. So,
shoot, I'm trying to think of one of the emotional moments for me.
I know for me, while you're thinking, so which one patted her? Oh, what's his name? Hyder?
Yeah, the priest.
Yeah. So in their party, just it's her, the mage. There's a priest who he also kind of has magical abilities and can heal people and do stuff, you know. And then the dwarf, he's just really strong and really durable. Like he's insane.
His name's Eisen.
Yeah, Eisen. Mm-hmm. Not like from Bleach.
Warrior Eisen.
Right. Mm-hmm. And he's dope too. You don't get too much of him, but you can tell from the brief clips, like, oh, don't mess with this dude. Do not mess with this dude. Strong. Yeah. And then the last person in their party is Himmel. I think his name is Himmel. He's
Himmel the hero.
Yeah. And he's pretty much just a warrior, but they don't really show him fighting at all in the season. Right. But you can just tell by other warriors. So warrior is a title. Like it's actually a title for somebody.
Yep. And
the other warriors that you see are insanely powerful. I'm like, okay, if this dude helped kill the Demon King, I know he's that dude. So, so I was saying that Hyder, the priest, you know, he would pat Frieren on the head. He's like, you know, to praise her and stuff. And she's like, my head is not for patting. And so like, but then I'm not gonna lie, I got choked up. She was like, you know, trying to think of how to praise one of her new teammates. And she thought back to that, and she started patting the dude on the head, and I was like, no.
No. That was the other priest that traveled with them briefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not expecting him not to be a part of this long journey. It was like 2-3 episodes maybe.
Yeah.
They was like, all right, goodbye.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find my friend. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Like, but that makes sense, but also it doesn't make sense because that's not how stories go.
No, no. I was like, so why was he here in the first place?
Yeah, but it is also it's one of those things where it's realistic,
right? Mm-hmm.
Because that's the whole thing they were talking about is how brief everything is,
mm-hmm.
but it's still impactful. So it doesn't matter how long or how short it is, you know.
Right. Which is fitting because he literally saved their life, like I think a few times.
Yeah.
And so just like you said, him being part of their party for that brief moment actually really helped them to keep going. Because I honestly, without him, I think they probably would have still made it. But
yeah, because Stark, he had swallowed or inhaled something that
yeah.
They were just in the forest and they had to turn back around, so they was about to leave.
After that dude literally just told him to watch out for poisonous stuff.
Yeah, he's like, but I feel fine. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And then when he got to the priest, like, it's amazing you're not dead.
Yeah, right. Oh man. But that also, while we're talking about this priest dude, and I know we're kind of talking about things out of order because this priest doesn't come into the picture until kind of a minute later in the show.
Yeah.
But still, as they're traveling, as she's traveling with her new kind of group of, the hero and the priest, and they come across this village that's like falling asleep because of this monster that's like, it's putting out like some curse or something and feeding off of their energy. And they're like, also something that I like about the show and its magic is like the magic has rules to it. Like just because Frieren is this ultimate mage doesn't mean that she's not about to fall prey to, the stuff that's happening, to her in the group. Right. So even she starts to succumb to falling asleep at some point. And dude, it was a pretty dope moment because the priest, because he's a priest, he has immunity to, he has immunity to this curse. So yeah. And he's like, dude, I only got like 5 seconds, enough energy to revive one of you for 5 seconds to help me fight this monster. And he thinks back to the priest that was traveling with Frieren, and he had a conversation. He was like, look, Frieren has issues understanding human emotions. You can't just like fight with her and trust, that you can fight with a look and know what to do. So you have to trust her words. And if she says she's going to do this, you have to trust that she's going to do it. And Frieren's like, look, I know I'm falling asleep, but trust me, if you revive me, look, I promise you, I'm going to destroy this monster. And he was like, I don't know how this is going to happen. And dude, it was so dope. He was like, he woke her up and instantly she killed it. And I was like, man, that's sick. That was so sick to me.
One of the main points that made that so epic was the demon that they were fighting. You only can kill it in its weak point.
Yes, right.
And so she fell asleep before she even seen the demon. So he was like, how are you going to find the weak point in 5 seconds?
And he had left her, like he had to put her down because she fell asleep.
Yeah.
So she was a far ways away even. And within 5 seconds, she got there and like killed this thing.
It was like instant wake up. Yeah. She was like, and in that second, she was like, "Oh, it's this type of demon," and blah blah blah. There we points right there, blue. I was like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, that's dope. That was a dope moment. One of my favorite moments that I enjoyed. It definitely was in the dungeon. It was when Frieren and Fern was going at it with her duplicate.
Yes.
That was so clean. Like, I was wondering like how powerful the duplicate's gonna get because she was pressing her mana on the whole time. And I was like, yo, they could. I was like, her whole time she was like, just the calmest face, and they was both doing the same movements and everything. I'm just like, yeah, this is crazy. This is cool.
Yeah.
Her with her very powerful like things.
Man, okay.
How low-key strong she is.
Yeah.
She doesn't even realize how strong she is.
Right.
And that's only because her gauge is Frieren. Yeah. And Frieren is so overpowered, like so super powerful. So she was like, I can't fight any other of these.
Right.
But also, everybody she's fighting, they like, wow, why? Like she's only using basic magic and it's so fast.
I just love the setup, first of all, because when Frieren or when Fern is kind of traveling with Frieren in like the early years of them traveling, and they come across, they go to the town where one of the Demon King's, generals or whatever has been frozen in time, and she's like, the seal is about to be come undone, and he massacred all these people. He was so powerful in his time, and I gotta go and just end him. And so, you're expecting this dude to just like be something like, okay, this is about to be a boss battle. They freeze this dude and just like, hey, yeah, so your magic is hella outdated. And Frieren basically just like kills him with his own spell.
Yep.
And you realize later on in the show, or they say that spell that Frieren then teaches Fern is like one of the most basic uses in their magic world. But like you said, Fern just takes it to like the next level and just defeats anybody with like just the most basic stuff. And I love that so much, dude. I just love that.
Yeah, and I love Stark's and Farron's little love-hate relationship. Starting out, just because like all the characters, Frieren's second party, which is just Stark and Fern, they're like, they don't really rub that well together, but they just like make it work.
Right. Yeah.
As they get to know each other and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all hilarious because Fern is just one of those characters like you can get on her wrong side very quickly, easily.
Even I was starting to get annoyed because I'm not gonna lie, I've known people like that in my life, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, you need to chill. Just calm it down just a little bit.
It is so hilarious.
It is.
Her being like that is showing how much Frieren has grown from her time with the hero party.
Yeah.
Because in the past, she just would have ignored it all.
Right.
And wouldn't try to coax or anything. But after, like, how Himmel was so kind and always trying to help people, she started to, like, okay, I should be like that too. To honor him, honor his memory. The
way, and I think that's what really solidified the show for me, even over all the cool action scenes and stuff, is the way that she's going through and honoring her friends, that she did battle with for over those 10 years. And even her master, Frieren's master way long ago, the way that she honors her. One of her favorite spell, to be honest, I think Frieren says that she, or maybe it's implied that she collects all these spells and magic to kind of honor her master. And Frieren is like, people are like, why are you going through and that's just what you do with your time, your free time? You just collect spells, like even like dumb ones, like why? This is stupid. And she's like, I don't know, it's just a hobby. And they're like, you even like magic? She's like, it's alright. But she still just devotes all of her time to collecting spells, going from town to town and collecting grimoires, these magic books. But it's really touching to me that, something that somebody else will look at and like, why are you going so hard over cleaning the statue? Like, it's just a statue. And then they'll have a flashback to Himmel posing for this stupid thing like 20 times, and it's a sweet memory for her. And the person in the town giving the tour, they're like, this is Himmel the hero, and she's like thinking to herself, I was there when he made this statue, and that's why we're cleaning it. And then she'll do the whole field of flowers, which was her master's favorite spell. And it's just like, man, I love how she is this god tier mage, but like what really matters to her is not that all that power, is like all these sweet memories that she has of her loved ones. And I'm just like, that's dope, man. That's dope.
It is, and it's crazy because her master was the founder of magic for the humans.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, that's wild. But overarching, that brings us to the overarching theme of this show, that I believe what it was is just like the importance of falling in love with the mundane and seemingly insignificant moments, and cherish the people and relationships you share those with.
Yes.
No matter how long or how brisk they last.
Yes. I That's spot on, dude. That's so spot on. And also, I would even add, like taking the time to get to know the people that you love, like learning from Frieren's mistake that she even admits herself at the beginning is like, I should have taken more time to get to know you guys. And then she very purposefully is still in her own way getting to know them after they've all passed, except for the dwarf. The dwarf is still alive, but she is also then trying to get to know the people that she's currently with, and she's doing things that she would never normally do, and she's like, you know what, this is what Himmel would have done, or this is what so-and-so would have done. And she remembers back to how it used to be with them, and she's learning, she's like, just pretty much what you said. And so it's just like, I like that they took that angle in the writing.
Yeah. And one of the things that she did not do was when she was speaking with that one dwarf who was over watching the village, protecting the village for years, like centuries and stuff.
That old man,
Yeah, old Von, or Vol. Old man Vol. And he was like, he was there so long that the village people didn't even know why he was protecting it, and he just been always there. And so she was a old friend of his, and so she actually sat down with him instead of just how she usually do every 300 or so years. She was just like, hey, and chat whatever, and not really be personal. But she actually took the time to actually learn the history of why he was doing what he was doing and stuff, and getting to know him. And she always figured that he was just acting senile and all that.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the emotional moments when he was like, after he had told her that he remembered his wife's face, and he dreamed about her, and then he was like, you know what, Frieren, I really think you're the one who's going to be able to beat the Demon King. And she was like, hold up, the Demon King's been dead for...
Yeah.
she just had that look, oh my gosh, he's about to be gone too.
Yeah. And then also realizing that, his purpose for defending the village, which he said was the village that his wife loved, that's where she, came from. And so that's why he didn't remember her face, her voice, nothing, but he's going to keep his word, And, what was I going to say? Man, I had a point that I was going to say and I lost it. But anyway, just that, if she had told him that, hey, the Demon King is dead, we defeated that dude a long time ago, then his purpose is now kind of gone, and she kind of saw that too, and she's like, you know what, he ain't hurt nobody, just let him die defending his wife's, village and stuff, even though there's no threat. So you can kind of tell she's being more and more emotionally, I don't want to say emotionally mature, but emotionally sensitive,
Yeah, more empathetic.
Yeah.
She was apathetic all the time.
Because I think it's even the first episode, because Himmel the hero is still alive. He's close to dying, but she sees him, she's like, dang, you ain't dead yet? He's just like, you're just as cold as ever. I'm like, dang, Frieren. Yeah.
I remember when they had the very first episode, they was like, all right, in 50 years we're gonna come back and see this event. And then in 50 years, we just follow her journey and stuff, collecting those random, seemingly useless spells. And then she's like, all right, it's time to go back to them. And they all old and stuff, some of them couldn't barely keep up with the journey.
Right. I'm just like, she said it was a week's walk, journey to where they were going to go see this meteor shower.
I don't even remember. I just know they was all...
I'm like, somebody going to carry him on. This dude is 90 years old. But, so I guess, kind of when I first started the show, I didn't really know what it was, what is Frieren doing? What is the show about? And kind of maybe... I don't know if it's a few episodes, a couple of episodes, they're heading to this place that they call Heaven to talk with one of her party, his spirit.
She wanted to talk to Himmel because she felt like she didn't get to know him.
That's right. Yeah. So there's a spot in their world that souls kind of, spirits kind of gather, and that they say that that's what humans call heaven. And so, but you have to kind of get there a very specific way, and it's a long journey. And so that's kind of what Frieren is doing for this. That's their journey that they're kind of doing. But
yep, and it's the exact same journey that she did with the Hero Party, because heaven is in the location where the Demon King had reigned.
Right.
Yeah, it's a 10-year-long journey. So
yeah,
doing it all over again, but this time with Stark and Frieren.
Yeah. And so basically it's plot wise, the story is Frieren making that journey and kind of the challenges and stuff they face along the way and how they get through things. And I didn't realize, I think it's going to have a second season because they didn't get to heaven at the end of the first one. So I'm like, well,
right. So there's definitely, I know there's continuation in the manga, so there's probably is going to be a season 2.
Yeah,
it's coming.
Yeah,
it was very popular. This one.
Yeah, and I also appreciated that Frieren. I usually don't like main characters, but I actually like Frieren a lot. And especially the English voice actor. I didn't watch it in Japanese, although I
had to watch it in Japanese. I couldn't stand the English version.
No, you couldn't.
I could not.
Okay, so now we got two different opinions now. Okay,
yep.
Okay. I will say I did not like Stark's voice actor. I was like, all right, y'all could have found somebody better for this.
I didn't even get to when Stark was introduced. Immediately, I was like, no.
Well, I liked it.
But I understand what they were going for, because that's how the character is. But English mundane and monotone is way different than Japanese mundane and monotone.
Yes, it is. It is.
So I couldn't stand it. I was like, nope. And I was sick when I was watching it, so it was very hard for me to like maintain focus and all that. So when it was in the English, immediately I passed out.
Yeah, and I think I know what you're talking about, because there's definitely an anime trope kind of character that always has that deadpan voice. They're always just so monotone and dead-eyed and stuff. And the Frieren is like that.
Yep.
But what saved her for me is she has little moments of goofiness. Like she keeps getting stuck in these chests because she thinks that there's grimoires in them. And people keep telling, she's been doing it for literally hundreds of years, and people keep telling her that's a trap.
Yeah,
she keeps.
But it's 99%. It's not a check.
Yeah. And so it's like this.
So what are you gonna do about that 1%?
Yeah, right. And she's just waiting for that one time. And and also the way she sleeps is like, how did you? I think in one scene, she there was 2 different beds, but somehow she ended up in Fern's bed and was like smacking her in the face, and I was like, what is happening? So she sleeps crazy.
So she got their jealous side too.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, did you see that part when she was laying on Fern's lap? She looked up. She's like, I can only see half of the sky.
Yeah.
She just got up and pouted.
I was like, OMG.
You like, I raised this little girl up.
And there was also one scene where she was trying to seduce the priest to get him to join. Of course, she didn't have no feelings for him. She just was really trying to get him to come because she was like, she needs his abilities.
And he had his disposition. What he loved was older women.
Yeah.
He was like,
she was like, I'm as old as they come. He was like, dude, I don't know what he's. Yeah. What did he call her? He was like, you just an old child or something like that. I forgot what he said.
But
I was cracking up.
He didn't care about age. He was talking about older looking women.
Right.
The Frieren looks like.
Right. She looked like a child.
Yeah. It's hilarious though.